The verse of the week this week is 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, which says, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." And some older versions of the Bible actually say, "and of sound mind" instead of self-discipline, which I thought was really interesting, so I decided to look into that further to see how the two of these relate. And what I found was that of sound mind talks about the inner condition, while self-discipline talks about the outer condition or the fruits of that. God gave us a spirit that allows us to think clearly, which then allows us to represent that outwardly by living a faithful life, which shows the fruit of our spirit outwardly to others. So a couple things this verse reminds us of is first, that fear does not come from God. Peace, love, and a sound mind do. Which is actually pretty funny because I noticed that in my last video I had mentioned something very similar to this, but I happened to prepare this one first, so I noticed that after. So it's just funny how God works and made those two tied together really well. So it's almost like a continuation of that if you've seen that video as well. Another thing this verse reminds us of is what God gives to us is a way more powerful than what the enemy tries to steal. And I actually heard it said recently that the enemy doesn't try to steal your life, but rather he tries to steal your faith, which I just thought was really interesting. So if you do as well, or you have any thoughts on that, please do share in the comments. And finally, this verse reminds us that we were not created to shrink back. Peace is your birthright, so let this verse be a reminder of who you are in Christ and also of God's character, because He is a loving God and He calls you fearfully and wonderfully made.